It's going to be interesting to see exactly what's going to happen in this game. The Chiefs have a very, very young defensive secondary, but their defense has been the story so far this season. The game is on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on NFL Network and Fubo TV. The Dolphins have the number 1 rated passing offense and rushing offense, while the Chiefs have the number 3 passing offense and passing defense. This is probably one of, if not the biggest game of the week, depending on, if you watch a lot of AFC, if this is your favorite team compared to the Eagles, Cowboys. I want to know, will the Dolphins upset the Chiefs in Frankfurt, Germany on Sunday?
A few interesting points here. This is the second time the NFL plays in Germany. It's only the second time. The Dolphins have never beaten Andy Reid.
Really?
That's an interesting stat, huh? They've never beaten him.
That's
never beaten him.
Wow.
The Chiefs' defense is fifth, fewest yards and points per game. The Dolphins have the best offense in the league. We knew that. The Chiefs I think they need a second receiver to break out. I mean, they're relying too much on Travis Kelce. They haven't had anybody else really step up to be that second receiver. I think they were counting on the guy they got from the Giants, and he really has not been any good. And they have a rookie there that has been a little spotty. So, but yeah, he shows promise, but he's been spotty. Tua has 2,416 yards, best in the NFL with 18 TDs. So we got some serious star power here. And Tyreek Hill, 61 receptions for 1,014 yards, 16.6 yards per catch, and 8 TDs. Right? He's on an NFL record-breaking season, I think. Right?
Absolutely.
He's got 1,000 yards. His first receiver ever to have 1,000 yards after 8 weeks. And they're going to keep putting up big numbers with him. So I think he breaks all the records this year.
Wow. So
it's going to be a star-studded game with Mahomes playing quarterback for the Chiefs and Travis Kelce out there. Is Taylor Swift going to be at the game?
Taylor Swift is starting her tour.
She's not going to be there. They play better when she's there.
Travis Kelce doubles everything basically when she's there.
Yeah. Well, so I think that the Chiefs will win the game.
Okay.
Principally based on the Chiefs defense, which I think will be able to hold the Dolphins somewhat in check. I don't think they'll be sacking Tua very often because he gets the ball out so fast, and I think they do that for 2 reasons. One, because it's an effective strategy, and 2, they don't want him to take a big hit and get a concussion again.
Right.
And I think that has a lot to do with that, how they've changed up their offense to be such a quick passing game. So I'm liking the Chiefs. I think it'll be a very close game. It's fun to be able to start watching it at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Leaves room to watch a lot of other games the rest of the day. You'll be able to watch 4 or 5 games on Sunday, right? You get the 9:30 one, you get the 1 o'clock, you get the 4 o'clock on the Sunday.
Basically right into
you
one.
You can go from 9:30 in the morning till midnight.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much. Watch 4 games, 4 full games.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I can do all that, but I'll probably watch most of them, I think. So I'm looking forward to this weekend. I think it'll be great. And I'm picking the Chiefs.
Well, I would say this may get the highest ratings that an NFL game has during the regular season, so far this season, because there's a lot at stake here. Because I think if the Dolphins win this game, I think they solidify themselves as probably the best team in the AFC. Record, maybe it doesn't make sense record-wise, but I think if you go up against Mahomes and the Chiefs and you outplay them, and you're able to beat them, I think that says a couple things. I would say right now, Mike McDaniel, scheming-wise, offensively, is a better head coach than Andy Reid this season. Not all time, but this season. I would say Tua right now is a better quarterback than Mahomes. And I would say that offensive line was able to overcome a dominant pass rush that the Chiefs have. So I think those 3 things there. If the Dolphins win, I think that's what that will say. However, if the Dolphins lose this game, it's very, very telling of how the Dolphins season could end up. Because that would mean they are incapable of beating really, really good teams. Because so far this season, their 2 losses are against the Bills and against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Both 2 top teams in the NFL. The Chargers, that game was a 2-point win for the Dolphins on a very, very late touchdown. So they've beaten up on the Patriots. They've beaten up on the Panthers and the Giants. The Broncos, they beat by, looking at the number, I still can't believe it, 70-20. They beat the Broncos, and then they beat the Patriots again by 7. They probably should have lost that game if other Gesicki is able to. If Cole Strange is able to get a quarter of a yard, probably even less than that. But I digress. I'm gonna say the Dolphins take this game. I'm saying the Dolphins win because I think this is a motivation game. I think this is going to be Tyreek Hill is talking a lot of smack. He's giving the Chiefs a lot of bulletin board material. I would say, and it's going to be a very weird strategy for the Dolphins defense. Jalen Ramsey's back. I don't care if generally tight ends are covered by safeties and linebackers. I would put Jalen Ramsey on Travis Kelce all game. I would at least one-on-one cover him. If you need to double him, double him. But I would put Travis Kelce's primary defender as Jalen Ramsey, just because he is really he's the major offensive piece outside of Mahomes that the Chiefs offense has. He is unstoppable. You cannot play zone against Kelce because all he'll do, he'll have a defined route, and then he'll change his route if there's a wide zone open. He'll just flip around for a curl, and then Mahomes will hit him open. You need to put your best guy on Travis Kelce. I don't care what position is. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care if generally linebackers and safeties cover tight ends. Put your best corner on the best offensive receiver, which in this case for the Chiefs is Travis Kelce. That is a way. I don't know if you're going to stop. That's how you're going to slow down the Chiefs.
We'll see what happens.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the Dolphins to keep up the pace. What I do think, it'll be very uncharacteristic for both teams. I think they'll run the ball much more than they have throughout the year. I just think that they're going to try something new, something special. I believe a Chain is still dealing with an injury. I might be wrong with that, but Raheem Mostert's not bad. Not bad. Tua, very mobile quarterback, although you have the concussion thing you have to worry about. I will say this, though. Steve Spagnuolo, I don't care if he blitzes. I don't care if he doesn't blitz. Tyreek Hill is the highest graded passer against the blitz so far this season. So he has contained the blitz, he has managed the blitz, and he has executed very well while getting blitzed. That can't be your answer to stopping Tua and this offense. I think the way Mike McDaniel does his motion offense is very, very difficult for a lot of teams to try to dissect. We saw it against the Patriots, Jack Jones and Jonathan Jones, the Jalen Waddle touchdown at the very end of that game. It was a simple send Tyreek out to the right. Jack Jones tried to follow him, no communication. Jonathan Jones picked him up and left Jalen Waddle as wide open as a receiver probably has ever had on a touchdown. You could literally crawl into the end zone at that point. So I think the motion is going to maybe confuse some of the younger Chiefs defensive backs, but that's something you have to look out for. I think both teams are going to run the ball more, but I'm calling late in the game. I don't think it's a problem with Harvey Hotham, but I think late in the game we'll see we're going to see a deep ball, a deep pass. I don't know if it's going to be to Tyreek Hill, but I think it's going to be a deep pass that are going to put the Dolphins up by maybe 4. And then you better hope if there's 30 or 45 seconds left and the Chiefs have 1 or 2 timeouts, that you could hold them for that 45 plus seconds, including the 2 timeouts. Because I think Mahomes is one of those quarterbacks. You give him 25, 30 seconds and a timeout or 2, he can get down 75 yards and maybe score, or at least kick up, set up.
Field goal wouldn't do him any good if they were down by 4.
But what I'm saying is that he's one of those quarterbacks that if you need a long drive late in the game to put up points with very, very little time and 1 or 2 timeouts or 0 timeouts, he can get you that yardage, and he can get you those points.
Look what he did to the Bills in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Right?
They've never been the same.
No, they've never been the same since then. I agree.
So, I'm very nervous about picking the Dolphins, though, because they haven't beaten any good teams. It's going to be a very close game. They haven't beaten any good teams.
Yeah, well, Andy Reid's never lost to him. You didn't know that.
I find that very fascinating, Andy Reid. But, however, I will say this. I find this very, very fascinating. The Chiefs were celebrating something earlier this week. The Dolphins were already in Germany. Could we see what happened to the Bills and the Jaguars, where you're a little bit jet-lagged in Germany? Plus, Mahomes is recovering from the flu that apparently, you think hindered him maybe.
He should have been. He should be over that by now.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. The jet lag. So they Chiefs are going over there late The Dolphins have been there all week?
The Dolphins have been there, I think, for the entire week. The Chiefs are definitely
that's a factor. I think that is a factor.
You get acclimated to the time.
We saw what happened to the Bills.
Right, exactly. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that affects the Chiefs, but I think, Mahomes is good enough that maybe, being a little bit tired at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time, I want to say that's 6-7 hours farther down the line in Germany. I don't know the exact time difference between, East Coast to the Germany time, whatever that time zone is. But I think being a little bit tired then.
7 or 8 hours earlier. Yeah, from us.
Wouldn't it be later? Because you're going east?
No, I'm sorry, later.
Yeah,
you're
so
right. Yeah, it's later.
That's what, it's a 4 o'clock game. So 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock game. I don't know. Mahomes, I think, is good enough that it's not going to affect him. However, I do have Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift not being there. I have that as a back piece.
Yeah.
We saw against the Broncos.
They need her at the game nowadays.
Rendered basically useless in that game. And also, Mahomes played very, very poor in that game against the Broncos. Like I said, hasn't scored a touchdown, or he didn't score a touchdown. That was the first time since December 5th of 2021, which ironically was against the Broncos as well. So, no Taylor Swift. The Chiefs leaving late for Germany. I'm hoping Mike McDaniel could draw up something special for Tua. Get that defense to stop Mahomes 1 or 2 times and let that offense flow very well. I got the Dolphins in a close win. Also, I found this very fascinating. This point spread was -4.5 earlier this week. It's now down to -1.5.
Yeah.
So people are putting money on the Dolphins to try to turn the point spread around. So I found it very, very fascinating. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.